All right, so let's get started. Thank you everybody for joining our webinar today. My name is Ben Victorica and I'm with KnowledgeNet and I'm joined by James Watson. Our goal today is to provide you an overview of how AI is driving sales results. First, you'll hear from James and his experience and resources through his partnership with Sales Xceleration. And then I'll provide you an overview and demonstration of KnowledgeNet. During our webinar, if you have any questions, please add them to the Q&A linked below. We'll answer the questions at the end of the webinar. James, tell us about yourself and your role with Sales Xceleration.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Appreciate it. Again, my name is James Watson, and I am a fractional VP of sales. And my company is Sales Catapult, and I'm licensed with a larger organization of Sales Xceleration, which is a team of over 200 now fractional VPs of sales across the country. And Sales Xceleration provides a lot of resources, productivity partners, and strategic alliances that are very helpful. What I do is work with small to mid-sized businesses in the $1 to $50 million range. I largely work with technology companies, but I can work with any type of company. And recently I've worked with a company based out of Orange County, a technology company. And for them, we did assessments with the EVP, then came up with a mutually agreed upon statement of engagement, a timeline with deliverables each week for the 4 months of that engagement, then created a sales playbook, an onboarding process for the individuals that we were helping to hire, as well as existing reps that were already in place that had to go through a certification, and then rolled that finally into onboarding of clients and the motions that need to be taken initially, as well as on an ongoing basis. And this is on a quarterly basis to ensure renewals, referrals, and then upsells within data categories.
Excellent. Let me share my screen and open the presentation, see if you want to address any of the areas in any more detail. Or
it just gives a good visual of doing the sales assessment and then creating the sales infrastructure. And one important thing to note there, and what really separates what I do and what Sales Xceleration does, is that we are hands-on, ground-up builders. So it's not just training and coaching, even though we're doing that as part of our engagement. We're actually coming in, building the sales playbook, running the weekly meetings with the sales reps, getting involved with their pipeline management, even getting on calls to help out when it's necessary. And so this is unique and different from just coming in and coaching a team, which is necessary when they're at certain levels, but a lot of companies really don't have the proper sales infrastructure in place.
I know from your engagements, a lot of times the place that you start is helping customers with that sales infrastructure and their ideal customer profile.
Right. So it's important to really establish that up front, work on value props. There are two kinds of value props. One is for your own company and knowing, what that is, what those are, and that all of your employees, regardless of what division they're in, are also able to articulate what that is. And then on the flip side of that, creating an ideal customer profile. A lot of companies just, kind of shoot all over the place, and they haven't really established that. What size of company do they want to work with? What's the model for success in the past? And then really harnessing that and then focusing in on, industry types, the size of the business, and, what kind of revenue they're doing. And even, do they fit with, the ideals and the vision of the leadership and the company? Are these companies that they want to work with? Will they be good clients in the long run, which is critical because, a lot of the revenue, a disproportionate amount of revenue should be coming from existing clients, either directly or through referrals.
And then once they have their ideal customer profile, what are you seeing that, the techniques and things that people are doing to reach out to new customers that match their ideal customer profile?
That is very important, obviously. And what we're doing is coming in and helping out with the pitches, creating that and doing workshops, and then entering in, technologies like KnowledgeNet, for example, for prospecting purposes. Not letting AI take the place of the work, but allowing AI and data, which KnowledgeNet is very rich in, and number of contacts to assist with that whole process. And then using a combination of, calling and then in-mails, working on LinkedIn very actively, making sure that profile is all set up, and then email campaigns. And then these are really, it's as opposed to calls, they're really connections, and then identifying how many connections you have to make in order to get a deal, how many deals you have to get in order to, hit your numbers. So, this whole process and then leveraging technology like KnowledgeNet is really making it easier to do it and to be more efficient.
Thank you, James. Historically, as people have been doing this approach, and when they operationalize that and they send out hundreds of emails, maybe with generic messages, they're getting less than 1% of response. It's 1/4 of 1%. And if they have sales development reps, business development reps making cold calls, they're also achieving less than a 1% return of their outbound calling efforts. So how can we accelerate that? Like, how can we deliver prioritized warm referrals, people in your network already that can give you a warm introduction? With KnowledgeNet, we're able to do this in less than 10 days. The goal is, of course, to help you grow revenue and reduce the costs that we were talking about, contact sources and LinkedIn Navigator, ChatGPT, and doing this by leveraging your relationships. The way that it works is we create an organization for your company, and we add the users, typically the sales team, the people that are contacting customers. They sync their email and their LinkedIn connections to that KnowledgeNet organization, to your secure KnowledgeNet organization. And then we use AI to connect all of this information going back 1 year through your emails and meetings and generate the relationship intelligence, generate the connection paths. And then we leverage this to give you insights and provide you with additional uses of AI. The impact is that we're able to provide for you the warm introductions, who in your network's network can introduce you to that person that you're trying to reach, provide you details of who in your network has changed jobs. Maybe a great customer has gone to work for a new company and you're not aware of that, but we give you that insight so you can follow up with them and make them a customer with their new company. Part of this is that we provide you access to 280 million contacts with very detailed filters that match your ICP. So you can find prospects. And in addition to that, the AI generated email personality profiles. We're able to share with you what customers or prospects have visited your website anonymously. We call that web traffic intelligence. And we can leverage ChatGPT and other technologies to provide customized AI generated emails. So the key part is leveraging relationship intelligence, providing exact information of how you are connected to that prospect through your existing network. And when you identify that prospect, providing you personality intelligence so that you know how to message, how to meet with this prospect in a way that it's going to be most meaningful to them. And then as you are leveraging KnowledgeNet to write emails to them automatically, it's taken into account the personality intelligence and the relationship intelligence to create highly personalized emails to them. But going back to how can we do this in less than 10 days? Prioritize these leads and have your sales team be able to generate revenue in less than 30 days. And the way that we do that is that we use AI to search through 280 million contacts, leveraging the two things that we've been talking about: your relationships that we build using KnowledgeNet, your ideal customer profile, and then we use AI to prioritize first and deliver these 1,000 leads, every single one of them with a warm introduction. And we deliver these results. We've been working nationwide with Sales Xceleration. We have sales in every corner of the US. We can provide you with reference customers. One of them is CDI Corporation that in less than 4 months, they closed $14 million worth of business, and it all started with KnowledgeNet. So we can give you the contact information of people to talk to. Part of the way that we are working with customers and accelerating is by packaging up these components. So we provide you with licensing of KnowledgeNet for 12 months so that you can use it a la carte fashion and to generate these emails for the prioritized leads. We provide the 1,000 prioritized leads upfront. We allow you to use the web traffic intelligence for a month. And for this entire package, we charge $1,000. Essentially, it's the same cost of subscription fees for a year, but it's at a significant discount. Number one thing that we are helping them upfront with prioritizing their leads and getting them started because they all want to grow their business very quickly. Starting that in less than 30 days shows the most impact. But some of you may not have sales teams, but you still want to start. So KnowledgeNet is priced at $30 per user per month. There's no contract, so you can go month to month. And then once you see value, you could have an annual contract and drop the pricing to $25 per user per month. Let me give you a demonstration of how KnowledgeNet works. Let's say that I am in the plastics industry and I'm an extruder of plastics and I'm looking for customers. Let's say that I want to contact one of them, Nationwide Gutter, so I can sell them extruded plastic gutters. I have the KnowledgeNet Chrome extension here on the right-hand side, and if I click on it, I'm able to see information about Nationwide Gutter. And the first thing I see is that no one in my organization has ever contacted this customer, but my network can introduce me. So Joe English has a 2 degree of separation from Renee Grossman. I can click here and I can see exactly how Joe and I are connected. We've had 7 meetings and 96 emails. And Joe and Renee are connected, and Renee is the founder of Nationwide Gutter. So if I like this connection path and I want to ask Joe for that introduction, all I have to do is click this purple button, Write Intro Email. And it'll package up this relationship intelligence into an email asking Joe to please introduce me to Renee. Once I have been introduced to him, I may want to find out more information about Renee. So if I go to Renee's profile here, I can go to his LinkedIn page. I can click on the information tab. And in the information tab, I can see information like his cell phone number, which I've hidden here because we're on a national webinar. I can click here and get his personality profile, which will help me when I'm going to have a meeting with him so that I can present to him and communicate to him in a way that's going to be most impactful. So if I click here, I'm able to see things that are motivators and drainers for him, the communication style that I should follow, how we should work together, and recommendations of do's and don'ts for meeting and speaking with Renee. None of this is his profile, but I wanted to show you exactly the example of how this would work. If I close this box here, and if I didn't have a connection path, an introduction like from Joe English, I could use AI to write an email. And this isn't just any email. This is a specific one that's coming from me and my role and information about my company. It's going to Renee and information about him and his company. So it customizes that into a custom prompt in ChatGPT, which is embedded in KnowledgeNet. When I click the next button, it generates that email that I can also customize by clicking here and changing the length of the email or changing anything that I want. So there's an automatic draft. Close this box here and show you how to add Renee to my CRM because this is a prospect that I want to continue with. I can click this list area and then just add them to any one of my CRM systems that I have. And then if I go back to the company itself and I click the information tab here, then I'm able to see things about the company, access all of the employees at the company, And I can use AI to find similar companies. Again, I'm a plastics manufacturer. I'm looking for as many companies as I can. If I click there, it packages up information about Nationwide Gutter and shows me potential alternatives in the market. I can keep asking for 10 more through ChatGPT, or I can use KnowledgeNet to search over 70 million companies and find in the keyword search of gutters, find 3,293 companies nationwide that focus on gutters. The other thing I could do would be to search people. We have actually now 280 million contacts with the detailed filtering that I mentioned earlier, that you're able to find people in industries and by job role and title to help you grow your business. Thank you for letting me share a demonstration overview of KnowledgeNet. Let me turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you. If you or anyone that you know needs help with sales, at the early stages, which is part of the infrastructure plan, or even in, middle stages where the company's doing all right, but is not getting to the next level, or maybe sales have dipped, which has not been uncommon, or even on the other end of the spectrum, which could be in, exit planning. And I've actually started working with EPI, the Exit Planning Institute, and learning more about what's really important there. And, having that concentration of too much revenue, any more than, 15, 20% of revenue coming from one client is a big red flag in terms of valuations. It's also important that employees are going to be staying on board there, particularly if it's acquisition. And obviously having net revenue as opposed to just gross revenue of sales is very important. And the distinguishing factor there is that some companies do, for every 2 sales they do, they have 1 going out the back door, especially if they're on a recurring revenue model. And that goes back to what I was talking about earlier, with onboarding clients properly, and then having a quarterly motion of staying in touch with them so that they get to the point where they know, like, and trust you. They're renewing their services, the referring business, and then buying more of your services or products.
Would you like to go over the Sales Acceleration Framework?
Yes. So Sales Acceleration Framework is really designed for companies that already have sales infrastructure. And they usually will have a sales leader, either a sales director or VP of sales already in place. So what we're doing here is not coming in and building everything up, but you're building everything from the ground up. What we're doing is taking the existing framework that, a customer has in place, and they'll tend to be a little bit larger once they get, at that point where they already have a sales leader and, a full team of sales reps. And this really is a collaborative process where we are taking what they already have and then building it to the next level. And what it consists of is 6 days over a year-long period. And there are 3 initial meetings, starting with the groundbreaking day. And then there are 3 quarterly meetings. And then the last one includes an annual planning meeting. So this is really, another end of the strategy for sales acceleration. So we're dealing with the companies that need sales infrastructure, and that isn't always a matter of how big they are. It's a matter of how far along are they with, do they already have a sales team? Do they already have a sales leader? Because there are companies that are, doing $10 million that, may not have a VP of sales, and they have someone that's kind of backed their way into the sales management role. And I've worked with companies like that where, they really need to build the infrastructure. Then we can move on to the Sales Acceleration Framework.
Excellent, James. I'm going to check and see in the Q&A if there's any questions. And in the meantime, I'll show this slide here that has our contact information, and a QR code provides you all the details about James and I. I see one question here of how long does it take to get started using KnowledgeNet? And the answer is that in less than 5 minutes, I can create a KnowledgeNet organization for you and invite your users. Those users can start using KnowledgeNet immediately to search for contact information like I was showing in the demo. And in just a couple of minutes, they can set up and sync their emails and their LinkedIn. And because we live where they're working, there's little to no training, but we do provide training. Thank you for asking that question. James, I don't see any other questions. You want to wrap it up? Thank everybody for coming.
Thanks a lot for joining in on this webinar. I think that, KnowledgeNet resource, which I utilized, was a productivity partner of Sales Xceleration. It's a very useful tool. And one of the things that I use frequently is the ability, because it integrates with CRMs, when you're on a contact, to be able to use the widget to actually download that contact right into your CRM. So, I found that to be a very useful tool. And if anyone reaches out to me, the give that I will have here is that I'll do a complimentary sales agility assessment, which is just a quick 10-question multiple choice, survey about critical, key performance indicators on the sales side. And then you get immediate, written feedback. I get a copy of it, but then I'll also do a 30-minute complimentary consult and review of those results and where the gaps might be in your sales processes.
Well, thank you everyone for joining our webinar today. Each of you will get a recording. James will send it out tomorrow morning. We'll be doing the follow-up as well. We hope you have a great day, and thank you very much again for your time.
Thank you.